Good afternoon, Rosemary. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you? It's
I'm
good
doing
to
well.
see
It's
you.
always great to see you. Yes.
Right back to you. Right back to you.
So we are changing the topic this month where we are doing because the Chinese New Year is coming up. So we decided, and then we just stepped into a year one. So we thought it might be a great topic to explore with the cards. So we're going to be doing a five card draw with one question and with our decks. So this is, if my computer wants to cooperate, here we are. So I am Carole Funk. I'm an integrative practitioner of metaphysics with several certification and studies into a variety of healing modalities. I'm always looking to create tools to support others in their for potential growth and really bringing awareness. I think self-awareness is key to transformation. And I also support clients within private and group healing session. Right now, the group sessions are on hold a little bit, but I'm looking in different ways of supporting our people. So I'm going to start again. I just took a little break. And this is Rosie.
Hi. Hello, I'm Rosemary Nevada. I'm a psychic medium. Uh, I tap into all kinds of beings in order to communicate and share information with people who are looking for that. That includes four-leggeds, that includes two-leggeds, us walking around, and it also includes those of us who no longer live in his skin because we've transitioned to a different realm. So that's the mediumship part. I do direct readings. I like to use divination systems. My favorite tools are our oracle decks, but I also am a fan of tarot. I really enjoy using my aptitudes to be of service in an unusual way. So, yeah, I love what I do.
And you're awesome at it. So we're going to do one prompt, which is one question, and then we're going to do a five card draw using our own decks. So this is the kind of the intention and the plan for it. So the the question that we decided to do is, and then we just chose the right before we came on, we just chose the question, and then we just drew the card and together. So this is how we're not fabricating anything. This is just instant random pulls, right? So the
Right.
question is, in what ways can I establish a rhythm that supports steady momentum in a 1 year energy and the horse energy? Because we feel that uh, the 1 year is about leadership, it's about self-direction, it's about new beginnings. So uh, and then the horse, you know a little bit more about the horse because you've written a few things about it. So if you want to share a little bit of what you know about the
Sure. Sure. We're stepping into the year of the fire horse. We will be finishing up on the 16th, which is Monday, I think, with the year of the wood snake. And this is Chinese New Year calendar. And we're stepping into on the 17th of February, we step into the energy of the fire horse. So horses are about power and energy and action. And fire is action, movement, motion, passion, self-discovery, uh, looking for your bliss and feeding your soul and risk taking. So you couple the fire energy, the horse energy, and the wind energy, and you've got a lot of new beginnings coming in and
yes.
lots of opportunity for changes.
And the one we came up with the one because 2026 adds up to 10, which which in Pythagorean numerology reduces to one. So that's how we
Yeah.
came up with the energy of one, the
And I
number.
love the energy of one when it comes of the combination of a one and a zero, because
Uh-huh.
a zero is a 10, and then you reduce, if it's multiple digits, you always reduce it down to a single digit. So when you have a zero in the mix, like in 10, and it becomes a one, zeros aren't numbers, they're placeholders. And so because they're holding a space for something to come in, they're pregnant with possibilities and potentialities. So
I
when
love
you
what you
get a
say.
one that's a combination of a zero and a one, you get a new beginning pregnant with potentialities and possibilities, more so than just a regular one.
Right. And I think the fire energy could be intimidating in some ways because it's kind of like when I hear the horse, I'm seeing it as galloping. So it's almost feels like we need to, it's like fastness is
It is.
associated with it. And but when we're too fast, we lose perspective and we lose. So we kind of have to. That's why I think the question we chose is good because how do we intertwine both energies and keep it steady and not feel overwhelmed that we're losing sight of and we're going too fast. So I think
Right.
it brings us back to anchoring and grounding and making sure that we're clear about where we're going before we take the action that the in the movement that the horse requires. So
Yeah. If
to
if I'm from the Southwest and we have a bunch of, I grew up with horses and we have a bunch of verbiage associated with horses. And if a runaway horse, if you give the horse its head, it'll get out of control. So you got to bridle that horse in a little bit, just pull it in a little bit. Don't give it its full head, because once it gets away from you, you're on the wildest ride. He might try and scrape you off on a fence or a branch, or throw you. So you want to work with your horse and give it enough freedom to move, but don't give it its full head, because then it's out of control.
okay, so it's I think it's really a great way to understand the energy that we're stepping into in terms of if
Yeah.
we're looking at the Chinese New Year, but I think um it doesn't I don't think it matters that it's quote Chinese in the sense that we are embracing as a collective, we're embracing that energy as well. So
Right, right, exactly
we're
right.
just labeling things. Um, so we decided to pull the cards. So we started out with our I Am Oracle. And did you want me to start or do you want
Well,
to
I'm in, my light is almost out in my room here, and it's
okay.
it's too dark for me to be able to really read the cards. So I'll let you read the cards and I'll just comment.
Okay. So the card is renewing energy. And it's the message is I allow my body to renew its energy by resting, hydrating, and nourishing it with wholesome food. This renewed energy is serving me well. So I think that's one of the perfect way to, if we go back to the question is how can I establish, in what ways can I establish a rhythm that supports steady momentum is we have to give ourselves the time to rest because like you said, if we run into the image of the galloping horse, it's like we can never catch our breath. So the rest part is necessary, and then the hydration and the nourishment is where we keep the vitality and the momentum to do what we're called to do. So
Right. And we've got that whole renewing thing, which
mhm.
is one is renewal. As a matter of fact, we just celebrated Groundhog's Day, which is also Imbolc in the Celtic and the wheel of the year, and that's about renewal. It's the return of the sun. We're starting to move towards spring, so it's renewal. The ground is begin to getting its thawing out, and it's beginning to receive nourishment from the water that's melting, from the snow that's melting into its form of water. And so, yeah, I think this is a great card because we're right on that precipice of that renewal thing.
And the question, because the I am deck has one or two questions on the bottom part, I think it's also very important to look at that is how attuned are you to your body and its rhythmic needs? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of times we just ignore the signals. Like recently, I just had a so last Sunday I woke up with a bad headache, and I usually don't get headaches. That's very
Mm,
rare when I get
no,
headaches. And I had
don't.
then as I got up, I had this shooting pain in my big toe. And I'm like, oh, let me see what the big toe says. And it's related to headaches and migraines.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like,
Wow.
okay, got it. So then I massaged the big thumb, the big toe, and and I don't take any medication. So I just massage my toe and then let its course take its course, nature take its course, and quickly I was better. But it was interesting that I woke up with a headache, and then the sharp pain of the toe really gave me that hint. Hey, pay attention here.
It's so important, the paying attention part. Like, we ignore things. We forget that our body is an oracle and it gives us information all the time.
Yeah.
We just
So
have to listen.
and instead of I don't know, with the energy of the horse, it feels like almost like like we said, it doesn't give you the rest. It feels like it's just one step after the next, after the next, after the next. It feels like an ongoing energy. So paying attention to your body really is even more critical in that sense of, to me, in that sense of energy, because you have to give yourself that body that break, and
Yes.
and the faster you go, the more you're going to miss, and the lack you're not going to hear or listen inwardly. You're going to miss something in terms of your intuition, or you're going to miss the red flags because you're not you're in that energy of just keep going, keep going, keep going. So it's really interesting to me, the read that I'm having on the horse energy. It's kind of like, yeah, let me
Yep.
sit down a bit
So
here.
you got to rein it in. You got to slow it down
Yeah.
because its essence is a desire to move. So
But it also, to me, with the horse energy, is about power because it's a magnificent
absolutely,
creature.
it is a power animal. Yes.
So I think the more you're able to create that steady momentum, you empower yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's really, I don't know, it's a really beautiful intertwine of energies that we have to pay attention to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot going on this month.
So the second card that we pulled was from the Oracle of Crystal, Gemstones, and Rocks, Conversations with the Mineral Kingdom that we did. And the card is I Am Here's Gold. And so I'm going to read, and then you'll talk about it, Rosie.
Well, we can talk about it together since I
Yeah,
can't see
sure,
in here
sure.
because it's so dark.
I am Hero's Gold, voicing a message of allowing for flow of source energy. You're a natural healer, allowing for flow of source energy to facilitate healing. Your connection with spirit and grounding with Gaia fosters the connection of all chakras and physical realms. This magical connection carries the gifts of creativity, manifestation, confidence, well being, balance, and harmony. Get busy doing your magic. This is the card.
This is a beautiful card. I like the idea of the connection to spirit and because horses are a spirit animal. It's a very powerful totem to get in Native American cultures that every animal has its medicine. They call it its medicine, and it's the lessons that that animal is here to teach us. And over different cultures have different interpretations of that they observe the animals in the environment in nature, and they watch the kinds of things they do. And actually, the in Jamie Sam's medicine cards, uh, she has it's an animal deck, and the word every animal has, it's like deer is gentleness, raven is void, crow is laws, all of the animals, coyote is trickster. The word that is given for horse is power. It's a power
Uh-huh.
animal.
Right.
And what's interesting is it has that capacity to move really, really fast while staying grounded, because it gets its speed from how it pushes against the earth. That's how it builds momentum. So it's very spiritual, but it's also very grounded all at the same time.
Yeah. And
So
I think it's a great message also for us to remember to do that, to ground ourselves as well, because that creates that stability. And then
yes,
having that connection with source is you feel that you're supported. So from the support of the divine and then the grounded, being grounded with Mother Earth, it gives you that steady, it creates that steady momentum because you are
absolutely.
being supported on both ends.
Yeah, because on this 3D planet, the only way to move forward is to gain traction. You have to have something to push against. And so the horses are very, very grounded, and they're very healing. This card is about healing as well. Horses,
Right.
it's called equine healing.
Therapy.
It's also called medicine horse. And they have a huge heart chakra. When you sit on a horse, you sit right behind its neck, and then the bump where its shoulder blades would be, that's its withers. And you sit right behind its withers, and you're sitting right smack dab in that huge, beautiful, their heart chakra. They're very, very healing. And uh, people go there to get work with the horses for CPTSD, other all kinds of traumas, and they also people who have disabilities because of the way a horse moves. When you sit on its back, you learn your muscles subtly work to stay balanced on the horse. So depending on how you're sitting on the horse, whether you're sitting forwards or backwards or sideways, depending on the needs for your rehabilitation or your muscle development, they can help you develop those muscles that there's no other way to develop. And they're healers. There's a woman, what is her name? She does, oh geez, I'll look it up and I'll put it on our Facebook page. She's out of South Africa. I think her first name is Deborah, but she does horse medicine and healing with horses. And her horses just automatically started gravitating to her when she was doing healing work. Now she works out in the forest, in the pasture where she has them, and she has a treatment table out there, and there's about six of them, and they all come up and they make a circle, and they
Oh,
did this
wow.
of their own
Yeah.
volition, and they
Yeah.
make a circle around her and her client, and there's a couple of them who will actually come up and rest. Their muscles are so soft they feel like velvet, and they'll rest their muscles like on a person's head or on a person's heart, and it's profound. Just watching it is profound. So actually physically experiencing it, but they're amazing animals because they're connected to source, they're connected to earth, they're grounded, they're connected in both ways, and they're so powerful, and they
And
heal. This is a
and
great card for that.
and they can read energy because I
Yes,
know
they
I
can.
remember when I was writing as well, and there was one particular horse that everybody was afraid of going into the stall because he was a little bit more bodacious than other horses, I guess.
Yeah.
So you had to really kind of, figure out how to approach it. But if you're fearful, they're going to sense it,
Sure.
So it's also a good reminder that we also have to be attuned to how receptive we are to the other people's energies and the way that we approach the horse, right? So it's about all about reading the energy and understanding what you're projecting as well. So I think it's
Absolutely.
I think it's important to remember that as well.
Yes,
Um,
and they're very, very sensitive. They're prey animals. you can tell by the placement on it. The eyes are not directly in front. They're not
Right.
like predators always have eyes right in front. Prey have their eyes on the sides or sort of off a little bit, and their eyes are offset. They're herd animals. They gain protection from being in a herd and speed. But they are hypersensitive. They're very psychic. They're hypersensitive, very strong sense of smell, great ears, and they're aware, very, very aware all the time.
So those are really
So
great qualities for us to embrace because
absolutely, absolutely.
they're talking. You talk about awareness, and you talk about the senses. So it's about tapping into um, our own psychic senses, and
Mm,
really help us navigate life through those senses. I know I learned a lot from being more attuned to the clairsentience and the clairaudience and the clairvoyance. So uh, yeah, they're magnificent creatures and they can be so gentle. So I think we got to look at the whole picture of what the horse represents and all of the
mhm,
traits that they have, not just um, the energy of it, of
mhm.
the fire
Right.
horse.
The fire, yeah, because that's the part of that too is the fire energy.
Right.
So it colors. If it was a wood horse or a metal horse, it would be different. You know, you have all the different elements with like I'm a metal rabbit. So we right now we just came off of the wood snake and we're going into the fire horse. So they all have elements associated with them. And so the energy of a wood horse or a metal horse would be very different. It would still have horse energy, but it would have a different flavor because of the wood or the metal versus the fire.
Well, and the fire is about transformation, right? So
Exactly.
it's really looking at, and then we're looking at the number one energy as self-leadership and renewal and self-mastery in
Innovation.
some way. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and
the
innovation,
passion
yeah.
and the creativity and the imagination of the fire mixed with the self-mastery and the self-leadership,
Hmm.
you can be really empowered as you embrace all of these qualities.
Absolutely.
All right. So the third card from our deck is this one, which is from the consciousness deck. Let's see if I can do it better. And it's a soul journey portal. And the message is I'm grateful for the sacred experience of soul journeying, traveling infinitely through past, present, and future, through lifetimes, through dimensions, through eternity. I am being reintroduced to myself over and over again. As a seeker, I explore my multifaceted self to retrieve an abundance of information that supports me on my path of evolution.
I love this card.
So I think it's really important to go inward and to do those soul journeys to really look at what's inside, and uncover what's inside and let that speak and embrace those qualities that you've probably may not have uncovered yet and give yourself that space so that you can you can step into that self mastery and that renewal and letting go of those old paradigms to be able to move forward and and follow
I like
your
the
life.
Yeah, and I like the line in here that talks about meeting yourself over and over again.
I do too, yes.
Um, to me, it's like we do that every day. If you pay attention, you observe, you're a new person every single day by virtue of just having been walking around on the planet and collecting more experiences. Um, and we're in a 1 year. So, like, this is another reintroduction to ourselves. And by the end of the year, we're going to be somebody very different than we are now. And it's a year for that experience, that renewal, that innovation, that new beginning, that pioneering spirit, that whole thing where we step forward. And I think in 1 year, if you can be aware that you renew and revisit and relearn and reintroduce yourself to yourself every day throughout the year. By the time we get to December 31st, we're going to have learned a lot and accomplished a lot, especially with the horse energy.
Yeah, I like the exploration of multifaceted self because
Yes.
we forget that we're divine beings. We forget that we're light energy and love and all of these. It's that zero from the one, the 10. The zero is that pregnancy of the gestation of all possibilities and potentialities that are there, and that's exactly what we go if we go back inward and into the womb of who we are, right? It's kind of like we've
Exactly.
inherited things. We've came with purpose, so how do we step into it to lead our reality and create the reality that we want to live,
Yes,
with the passion of
absolutely.
the fire horse.
Absolutely.
So the next card is from our Working with Color Oracle, and the card is Bodacious Olive, and its qualities is emotional wisdom, independence, optimism. I'm open to the experience of acknowledging, honoring, and releasing my emotions. My well balanced, independent self, full of optimism, keeps me on my path of self mastery. So it's really supporting our discussion here. And
Mhm.
this is the card.
Yeah.
I like the emotional wisdom because the more emotionally intelligent we are, the more stable we are, and the clearer we become, and the clearer we are, the better choices we make to support where we're going, what next step we're going to take. So it's about action, taking action, but it's taking action from a space of clarity rather than chaos or fogginess. I
Right.
think we have that emotional understanding.
And I think this is a really important card because of that emotional intelligence and that optimism, uh, especially with the energy. We've got a one energy, we've got the fire horse. We have a lot of astrological things coming up. And so if we can practice these qualities that Bodacious Olive shares with us, I think we'll learn a lot and we'll maneuver it better, we'll navigate it better. And certainly we'll gain some areas in our lives of self-mastery.
So
Uh,
it's up we can use that color. We could call and immerse ourselves with that color when we're feeling a little bit out of sorts, and just calling into um visualizing that color to just kind of bring us back to that space of emotional stability, emotional wisdom, and independence and optimism.
right.
So it's almost like a lights. It could be considered a little light switch, for a
Yeah.
little tune up,
Yeah.
a quick tune up. Um,
Well, and there's even stones that you can wear in your pocket, carry in your pocket, or jewelry that you can wear. Isn't there a stone called olivine? I think it's like an olive drab colored stone. And then
I'm
some of
not
the green
familiar.
stones like aventurine and
I have this one
uh
here, which is the infinite seraphonite.
oh yeah, seraphonite. That was another one I was trying to think of the
Yeah,
name of. I could see it in my mind's eye.
yeah.
Preonite can be sort of that color too, but it's got a little bit more yellow in it.
Sorry.
And preonite is like a healer stone. So
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Cool.
and lastly, the card that we pulled from the manifestor deck is Chrysalis of Manifestation. And I'm going to read it, but I'll let you lead. So for the
Okay.
so the chrysalis of manifestation's message is: for the purpose of manifesting my soul's desires, I explore the sacred chamber that has been revealed. There I enter a chrysalis filled with frequencies of pearlescent light. As I bask in these vibrations, I witness new ideas as they sparkle and shine light on the path of newfound wisdom. I become more self aware and flexible in embracing the pivotal changes, offering the potential to shift my reality. So I think it's a perfect card to end the reading with.
Oh yeah, it's a perfect card. This also makes me think of, because of the whole process of the butterfly that ultimately emerges from a chrysalis, but it has this whole metamorphosis that it goes through. And we just came off of the solstice in December, and that's a time where we go into hibernation. We're in the winter, and we're like bears. We go into hibernation, we slow down, we do less. Hopefully, we do more introspection. And then when we emerge from that hibernation, we come out different, we come out new. And so there's sort of a correlation between the going into hibernation and coming out of hibernation, and going into chrysalis and coming out of chrysalis changed. So I really love this about the when you come out, change the potential uh, for shifting your reality. Because when you come out of hibernation or you come out of chrysalis, you walk into a different environment and you have an opportunity to shift yourself and shift the reality that you're stepping into.
And for me, I like the idea of the exploration of the sacred chamber because it reminds you of,
Yes.
giving you that time to slow down and to not control the energy of the horse, but at the same time, like you said, bridled it. Is that what you
Bridle, bridle.
bridle,
You put the
bridle, right?
bridle
So
in, yeah.
that you do have some control of its wild energy. So I think
Mhm.
that space giving you the time to go inward and spending time in that sacred chamber, which uh, can be very revealing.
Absolutely. This is a hard thing for us in this day and age because many of us do not slow down long enough to do that. But even if you go into meditation for 5 or 10 minutes every day, that'll slow you down enough to start anew, to step forward and start anew. Um, if you don't slow down and you just go, 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 it's hard to, you don't know where you've been, and it's hard to see where you're going because you never slow down enough to evaluate, to assess, and to think about what you want to do next as far as creating your reality.
When I think
So that, oh, go ahead.
no, no, well, it
No,
just, as you were talking, it just kind of made me think of, the level of stress that we go and we need
yeah.
that space of renewal energy because otherwise we're just, that's how we develop, all these chronic ailments and
Hmm.
imbalances in our bodies is because we're on that go, 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 and what are we reaching for? Sometimes we lose perspective of what we're actually chasing. So,
Exactly.
and is what you're chasing really fulfilling? Is it really what your soul's desire is? So, going into that sacred chamber can really ignite back or reintroduce to you what is important, what are the core values of that you carry, and how to bring them forth into the reality, into the transformation that you're about to experience through this year of
Yeah, the
years.
1 year and
Yeah.
the fire horse. Yeah, that's a great card to finish up with.
Yeah.
So
So
if you
we
didn't get
hope,
a chance to go into chrysalis, time over the next few days to do some meditation so you can sort of sort things out.
and meditation can happen in different forms. For me,
Yes.
all the time it's in nature that it just allows me to calm my senses and just listening, walk, being close to water or whatever. It doesn't need to be in a lotus position and humming. There's a lot of times. Sometimes that's how people just have that stigma or that idea that you have to be there for an hour sitting in the lotus position and just um,
Yeah,
it
and
can
that's
be
just
drawing, it can be anything that you that quiets the mind, and then you can receive
Exactly.
information, you can receive messages.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that has a hard time sitting still, swimming laps is meditation because you go into
Uh-huh.
an alpha state because it's repetitive movement and
Right.
synchronized breathing. So that's a moving meditation. Walking a labyrinth, hiking, jogging, uh, dance, certain kinds of dance, yoga, all of those are meditative. You don't have to, like Carole said, sit in the lotus position and om. There's many, many ways to meditate.
Right. It works for some, it doesn't work. It didn't work for me
Mhm.
at the beginning when I was doing meditation. Is I was one of those, I mean, I'm still kind of a very busy thinker.
Mhm. Well, you're an idea machine. That's why.
So in order for me to slow down, I use music a lot.
Hmm.
And my art is away, but I needed guided meditation. I did my guided meditation to try to help me pay attention to what the other person was saying so that it would quiet my mind. So,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
that's a great way to, if you're unfamiliar with meditation, it's a great way to, guided meditation is a great way to start, because then and it's
Somebody,
practice.
yes, and somebody gave me the name the other day of a that guided meditations that they like to listen to. It's on YouTube, and it's called The Butterfly's Whisper.
Okay.
And it's guided meditations, and it's specifically for people who have that super active mind. And they're different kind. This guy does different kinds of meditations, but they help people who can't just sit and do the Om thing.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't tried him yet, but he's on my list of things to do.
Okay, that
So
sounds
maybe
great.
I'll try him tonight.
So so our decks are available on our website, and we invite you to join us with our Facebook group, the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle. Rosie does reading this year. We're doing from awareness to embodied perception. So that way it's like everything is, when we listen, everything becomes an oracle. So we're in, providing practices, we're providing readings with different divination tools. And the this little guy here was my dog, his German Shepherd named Eclipse. And
Great name for him.
I started meditation when I had him, and I remember I had this meditation pillow, so I did meditation. I was on the floor, and then it was it was really my first meditation, really to kind of like intentionally sit and make the time and blah blah blah. And I was listening to Adoring Virtue. I think it was angel therapy meditation. And I was crying. And next thing I know is I was being licked all over the place. So I said, next time I shouldn't be on the floor.
He came to help you. He came to
Yes,
help you. Yeah.
he came to me to help heal.
What a beautiful boy.
He was such
Gorgeous dog. And
yes.
when you get to if you ever had the opportunity to get a close up of him, you can see into his eyes and there's super intelligent eyes. He was just somebody wearing a doggy costume. He wasn't really a doggy. He was more
And,
than, but dogs are amazing
and
anyway.
and you got to meet him through a reading through after he
Yes, I got
transitioned.
to meet
So
him through a
yeah,
reading.
yes.
He
So
came
thank you
through.
for the message. He was very as he was passing, he was very revealing in terms of, or I got a lot of messages before he just passed.
Mhm.
And so I have to find that paperwork because I wrote it down, because it was such an amazing experience, and everybody was, when but then everybody else is questioning your knowing. it's
Mhm.
it's almost like a battle. It becomes a battle trying to hold what you know to be true,
Mhm.
and what they're trying to do to make you
Convince you
doubt.
that it's not. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a very powerful lesson that he gave me as he was departing. So,
Mhm. Yeah, they're amazing. They're totally amazing.
and you might want to check today's reading on the in the Facebook Oracle circle that we have because in the
Oh,
group
right.
because Rosie, you posted about Luna and you used a different kind of divination tool. So,
Yeah, so it was tasseomancy, which is like if you would think most people would think of it as like reading tea leaves. It's
uh-huh.
any kind of a vessel that has residue left in the bottom of it. Once the fluid is gone, you can read it. Coffee grounds, Turkish coffee is really good for reading coffee grounds. Tea leaves. I have a friend who can read a soup bowl.
Okay.
It depending on, especially a thicker, like a cream soup, if there's anything left in the bottom, she'll pick it up and read it. So,
Okay.
and you can read the sediment that's left from wine in a wine glass. So it was a little thing on tasseomancy, and my dog came through on my birthday because I was really missing her.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
cup is still on my dresser because I'm not going to wash the cup. That's going to have to flake off. So yeah, so there's a picture of her image on my coffee cup, and I'm right-handed, so I was drinking from the side of the cup, and she was on directly opposite. So there was no way I was sipping, and she formed that way. She just formed. So there's a picture of her in the cup and her body that she had when she was here. And it's uncanny. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they find
Beautiful.
ways to come through, and people will get shocked because if they don't have a belief system that allows for unusual things, they have a really hard time believing in stuff.
Yeah, I think it's we're in our group, we're really trying to make people aware of all the different ways we receive messages and really become more um, pay more attention to what comes your way.
Yeah.
Because it's very revealing and I don't know. I just love the fact that to me it feels like I'm very connected when I'm getting those when I pay attention to those things that come to my within my field. So it's
Yeah.
it's for me it's a way to connect. I even connect with numbers, and if I manifest a certain number, it's like it just brings a smile to my face because it feels like okay, you got me. All right, thanks for that. And then humorous. Sometimes they show you with a lot of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I've been seeing lots of multiples, like I've seen 1111, I've seen 333, I've seen 444. And when I think it sort of flies into my head and I look at it's like, look at the clock. And I look at the clock and it's like a double or a triple digit or quadruple digit or a sequence, a specific sequence. And then I have to go look it up and see what it means.
Yeah, I've had those recently as well, where I'm usually I don't pay attention to my phone because I'm busy, but like recently it was the 444.
444. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that
So
happens all the time. You just notice. We
right,
need to
exactly.
practice and notice.
It's nurturing to a spirit. I think it's one way to nourish, with a renewal card, the energy. It's also one way to nourish your spirit is to pay
Yes.
attention to those things.
So pay
Um,
attention. Yeah.
the way to reach us, so this is our email address. So you're welcome to email us if you're wanting readings or support, healing sessions. We both do different things, so you're welcome to contact us. And just a note is that we have stopped after 2.5 years of trying to develop our Patreon community. We decided to stop it. I personally, I have a lot of different projects that I'm working on that I want to get published. So I thought my energy is better spent in developing those, so I can be even more creating more tools for for your uh, for your enjoyment. So
Absolutely.
That said, the best way is to reach us through email or through the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle. You're welcome to join
On
us there.
Facebook, yeah.
Well, thank you, Rosie, for this wonderful reading, and we hope that the information and the discussion supports everyone in embracing the energy of number one and the energy of the fire horse.
Yes. Thank you, Carole. What a treat to always spend time with you. It's always such a joy.
Same
So
here.
joyful living, right?
Thank you, Rosie. See you next month.
See
See
you
you. Bye,
next time.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.